I have a question. Why won't Obama walk off into the sunset and leave politics? Why? Like Bill Clinton did, like all the other presidents, Bush, and they come around every now and then, and they might say something nice. They might say something about their party or help their party in a primary every now and then. This man is the definition of a dictator. He will not leave alone, and that's why I don't like Obama. It's not that I respect him as the first black president. I was happy, just like everybody else, when he won. I don't like how he is being used to push some of the most progressive and liberal policies that he never stood for when he was even first time, especially his first term. Right? He ran as a moderate Democrat, and he was very moderate on a lot of most issues. And now he has completely destroyed his legacy because he does not want to leave power. And they want to talk about Trump a king. This man has been actively trying to run the Democratic Party since he got elected. But you don't see Bill Clinton out there still trying to run the Democratic Party. He was more popular when he left office than Barack Obama was. You don't see Bill Clinton. You don't see other presidents before Bill Clinton trying to still run the Democratic Party. You don't see Bush still trying to run the Republican Party. You don't see it. Because
our message to Florida Republicans is F around and find out.
News that we're just getting in from the Commonwealth of Virginia. This could have big implications for other states and clearly for the midterms. And there's a reaction now for Republicans in Virginia saying the following. We respect the decision of the Supreme Court of Virginia. I'm proud Virginians came out in historic numbers.
Yes, I thought this was over. If you take a look at this, the Supreme Court of the United States has now joined the Supreme Court of Virginia in choosing to nullify an election and the vote of more than 3 million Virginians. These Virginians made their voices heard, casting their ballot in good faith to push back against a president who said he is entitled to one seat in Congress before votes go to the polls. As governor, I will make sure voters know when and how to cast their vote this year because our votes are how we choose the representations we deserve. Okay, this is Abigail sending this out. Someone replied immediately, the Supreme Court did not nullify an election. Virginia Democrat did that by violating the Constitution you swore to uphold, and that is nothing but the truth. If you remember, this lady, during her campaign, she made sure to lie to people like, this is not what I would do. Just after the elections, she now in support with this crazy decision.
Moments ago, tossed out an emergency request from Virginia Democrats to reinstate the new congressional maps. Those maps would have allowed Democrats to pick up as many 4 additional seats in the House of Representatives this year, but the Virginia Supreme Court overruled those new maps. This was a widely expected decision from the U.S. Supreme Court.
Well, today is the point of no return for the ongoing Virginia redistricting battle.
The State Department of Elections had told the courts the debate needed to be settled today. That's because they need to have time to prepare for the upcoming election.
And to do that, election officials need to know whether they are using the old map or a new map that Virginia voters approved just last month. Now, last week, though, Virginia Supreme Court said no to the new map, and now Democrats are asking the U.S. Supreme Court to weigh in.
Our Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Drew Wilder walks us through how we got here.
Unless something changes, we Virginians will use the same congressional district map we have in place right now. Democrats are hoping something changes, though, and they've asked the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, John Roberts, to make that change now. Let's travel back in time, all the way back to last Friday when the Virginia Supreme Court struck down the new congressional maps that could have flipped 4 red House seats blue. The state Supreme Court ruled that the General Assembly violated the state constitution.
The answer is no. Certainly, Virginia, by constitutional amendment, has a new redistricting effort that was put in place and first utilized after in the 2021 redistricting. Certainly, I've been watching with interest what other states are doing, but I have no plans to redistrict.
Now, this is not the time to be upset. This is not the time to be apathetic. We see, just like in states like Georgia, have you seen the early voter turnout for Black voters and Democratic voters? It is off the motherfucking charts. There is no need to go in your corners and to feel sad and to feel sorry about the maps not changing, because guess what? The reason Republicans have to change their maps is because they cannot win on their policies. Democrats, we can win on our policies. We want a higher minimum wage. We want better education. We want universal health care. We want universal child care. We want to provide teachers with an adequate pay. We have the policies to get out the voters. We just have to share that message. This is not the time to be upset. Yes, Republicans, the Supreme Court lets them do whatever they want. They let them gerrymander. They let them suppress voters. They let them do everything. Unfortunately, the rule books for Democrats is stacked a mile high. And we just have to deal with that reality, unfortunately, until we're able to change that. But we can only change that if we grab power. And to do that means to spread our message of what we want to do.
But the reason this is happening is because Trump knows he's going to lose the House, which means there will finally be oversight and accountability of the abuses of power by his misadministration. And that is why he's trying to change the rules in the middle of the game and give himself more Republican districts. And it's going to be a backlash because voters don't have to take it and are not going to take it. And they can redraw everything. What they can't redraw is what voters do with their God-given right to vote. So we're going to show up in record numbers, and we're not going to let them rig these elections.
Yes, the Supreme Court on Friday rejected Virginia's bid to restore a congressional map that would have given Democrats a chance to pick up 4 seats in the clearly divided House of Representatives. The court order, issued without any noted reason, is the latest twist in the nation's mid-decade redistricting competition. It was kicked off last year by President Donald Trump, urging Republicans control states to redraw their lines, and was superseded by a recent Supreme Court ruling, severely weakening the Voting Rights Act that opened up even more winnable seats for the GOP. In recent days, the justices have sided with Republicans in Alabama. I don't want to continue to read this. If you take a look at what Democrats have done in the past, they have done it to 11. Now they are still checking if they can do it because they did that already. Take a place like New York. I have seen a lot of these people say, oh, they should redo this in New York. After they have done this over and over, at some point, to me, this looks like cheating. Yeah, you've done that. We have not been doing that for a long time. Let's do that now. This is actually what is playing out here. And it is extremely embarrassing to these people because they look at this like, oh, Republicans will dominate, which is something that I've already seen. If you see a lot of people saying Obama should resign, he should stop doing this, he should do this. This is as a result of the role he played in this state, Virginia. Calling that people should, go out there and vote to redraw this map. Looking back at videos, you see him saying he will not be part in doing this. At the same time, his level of hypocrisy was exposed.
The sight of this man just disgusts me.
They need to go to New York and get those extra seats. They need to redistrict. They need to redistrict in a couple of states.
Not represent the black community.
It's illegal to live on the sidewalk.
Right. Spencer Pratt, who's running for mayor of Los Angeles.
Who's doing a great job.
Unable to laugh at him.
Inside, they started.
It'll be more access to the leader of the free world.
This week, which was the state of Virginia, they gerrymandered the state. And I hate to sound like a 5-year-old, but Trump started it.
The win in yesterday's redistricting.
It's going to lose their congressional representation. How do you think?
Until the First Lady brought them back with her surprise statement last week.
How does this benefit?
I'm an actor.
Creative content.
Why are you not looking forward to the White House fight?
Well, it's kind of a gimmick.
I have 300.
Well, I said democratic socialist.
I know, but
Also, I have to say,
we don't even have the trust of our own people.